In this video, we'll look at 10 female bodybuilders who took it too far. Candace Armstrong. Candace Armstrong was willing to do anything to become a professional bodybuilder, but in the end, even she regrets how far she took things. Candace started working out in 2011 and would spend as much as 3 hours a day in the gym. Candace suffered from body dysmorphia, which made her believe her current body was unhealthy. Even as other people told Candace her muscles looked great, she didn't think her progress was enough. As a result, she decided to start taking steroids to become even stronger. Candace began using the steroid known as trenbolone, which is one of the most powerful performance enhancers in all of fitness. Unfortunately for Candace, it was also highly addictive. She soon became dependent on the steroid, and it had many other side effects as well. Candace's face changed drastically. She gained facial hair and acne. The rest of her body changed as well, and her physiology became more like a man's. Candace even claimed her genitalia changed as well, and she was now more male than female. Candace's steroid use led her to appear more like a man than a woman, and her own personal trainer assumed she was going through a sex change. On top of that, Candace started wearing men's clothing because people kept thinking she was wearing drag. For Candace, a desire to become more fit had led to an unexpected and undesired sex change. "I don't want to become a man," Candace said. "I just want to be normal." Candace claims she is now fighting her trenbolone addiction and hopes to return to a normal and healthy lifestyle. Be sure to stick to the end to see the 86-year-old female bodybuilder who runs an incredible 10 miles a day. If you thought that Candace story was crazy, wait till you hear this next one. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on more amazing videos. Joanna Thomas. Joanna Thomas was a famous female bodybuilder and actor. She became the youngest woman of her generation to get a bodybuilding pro card. After that, she worked for 12 years going to competitions and getting as strong as humanly possible. She would take part in several Ms. Olympia contests and was featured in a 2005 documentary on female bodybuilding. Joanna would tragically lose her life though, and it would all stem from substance abuse. She had been recently injured in a serious car crash and took narcotics to ease the pain. Joanna became addicted to these narcotics and, as a result, started taking more than she could handle. In April of 2020, Joanna overdosed on a mixture of pain-killing narcotics. She might not have taken performance enhancers like many other bodybuilders, but by taking her pain medications too far, she still suffered dire consequences. Melissa Kate Bumstead. Melissa Kate Bumstead was one of the top female bodybuilders in the world, competing in over 11 different professional shows. She got into bodybuilding when her boyfriend at the time inspired her in 2012, and since then, Melissa has risen to fame with incredible feats of strength. At 34 years old, Melissa had several wins under her belt, including a first-pass finish in the Tampa Pro IBFF competition. Melissa also took part in the famous Arnold Festival and secured 15th place among all the competitors. She was willing to do anything to get stronger, including following a strict diet and going to the gym multiple times a week. Unfortunately, this relentless drive to succeed would end up being her downfall. Melissa was arrested in September of 2021 for possession of illegal narcotics. She had been using performance enhancers such as steroids and hormones to grow muscles and push her body's natural limits. These chemicals were controlled substances, and Melissa didn't have a prescription to use them. She decided to try and purchase them anyways and received the shipments through the mail. Melissa's package was seized by U.S. Customs, and although the outside of the box was marked as a vitamin shipment, they chose to look inside anyways. The steroids and other illegal narcotics inside were very bad news for Melissa. Authorities chose to deliver the package to her unaltered in order to see what she would do. When it was clear that Melissa had opened it, they arrested her and served a search warrant on her house. Investigators didn't find any more evidence of narcotics in the home, but they did find clear evidence that Melissa had opened the package with steroids inside. She was charged with 6 counts of possessing an illegal narcotic and made bond at $30,000. As of today, she awaits her next court appearance. Denise Rutkowski. Denise Ruchtowski came onto the bodybuilding scene in the 1980s, and she would reach her peak with a second-place finish in the 1993 Ms. Olympia contest. Denise's rapid rise to the top showed her growing strength, and many people assumed she would be a strong contender to win the title in 1994. Instead, Denise suddenly retired from being a professional bodybuilder. When she came back into the spotlight a decade later, the world would be shocked by what they saw. Denise wouldn't return to the public eye until 2012, when she was arrested in Texas. The bodybuilding community was stunned when they saw her mugshot, and many could hardly believe it was the same person who competed in the 1990s. Denise's face had facial hair, and instead of long blonde hair, she now had a short brown mullet. The culprit was deemed to be steroid abuse, and after 20 years, Denise had wreaked havoc on her face and body. Denise continues to deny any usage of performance enhancers, but the drastic and total changes in her appearance are hard to explain by any other means. Nicole Bass. Nicole Bass became one of the most famous female bodybuilders in America during the 1990s, as she competed in the National Physique Committee nearly 10 times and finished 14th in the 1997 Ms. Olympia contest. Nicole joined the World Wrestling Foundation and was a formidable adversary for any prospective bodybuilder. Nicole's skills were undeniable, but she also gained enormous fame when she became a guest star on The Howard Stern Show. Her appearance on the show helped grow her name recognition and shine a light of recognition on female bodybuilding as a whole. By the time she retired from competitive wrestling in 2002, it seemed like Nicole would go on to be a beloved icon in female bodybuilding. Sadly, she had a dark secret that would be her undoing. Nicole's success came at a price, and to stay on top, she had resorted to steroid use. Although she avoided any legal trouble with steroid usage or possession, there were numerous other side effects. Her appearance was moderately altered by the chemicals, as well as her mood. Nicole got into fights more often, including an incident in the year 2000 where she got into a fight and bit a police officer. Nicole's steroid usage also led to her being hospitalized in 2006 due to pancreatitis caused by the narcotics she was taking. While she would eventually recover from the pancreatitis, the next health problem would be too much for Nicole. In February of 2017, she suffered a heart attack at her apartment. By the time help arrived, she was already unconscious. Nicole was rushed to the hospital, but in the end, it was too late to save her. She was declared medically brain dead and passed away not long after. Nicole may not have been conscious when she passed away, but her friends and family were all by her side. For them, Nicole's story was one of incredible success and a warning of the dangers of using steroids to get ahead. Iris Kyle. Iris Kyle is one of the top female bodybuilders in the world and won over 17 professional titles during her career. Although she started with aerobics training at a local gym, Iris was inspired to grow huge muscles like the ones in bodybuilding magazines. By the 1990s, Iris had come onto the scene as a rising star among female bodybuilders. She would go on to win the Ms. Olympia competition 10 times, and she also won Ms. International 7 times, too. By 2013, Iris had even been named the best female bodybuilder in the world by the International Fitness and Bodybuilding Federation. Her incredible success led to great fame in the bodybuilding community, but it came at a price. During her early days as a bodybuilder, Iris struggled to get ahead of the competition. She lost a competition in 1994, coming in second place. This defeat made her determined to win at any cost, and she started using performance-enhancing narcotics to grow even stronger than before. On top of this, Iris also spent much less time with friends and family. She was totally focused on getting stronger and would do so at any cost. Iris's substance usage caused her to be disqualified from a Ms. Olympia contest in 2001. She faced similar issues at a 2008 contest when judges spotted what appeared to be injection sites at her shoulders. Although Iris had difficulties with using these performance enhancers, she remained at the top of her game nevertheless. For the 2000s and much of the 2010s, Iris was the undisputed champion among female bodybuilders. All of that changed in 2014, though, when the International Fitness and Bodybuilding Federation announced they would be canceling the Ms. Olympia contests. According to the organization, the events had struggled with poor viewership and concerns about narcotic usage. The Ms. Olympia events wouldn't return until 2020, but Iris would call off her attendance due to illness. In the end, Iris's time at the top was brought to a close without anyone ever dethroning her. Although she went farther than most ever would as a bodybuilder, the results are clear for the world to see. Tammy Stephan. Tammy Stephan was a local bodybuilder and fitness model, and she had dreams of winning competitions to rise to the top. She owned a gym with another man in the Tampa area, and they took part in fitness competitions. However, Tammy blamed her coworker when she lost in one of those competitions. She then decided to engage in a merciless campaign of harassment against him. Tammy created hundreds of accounts on social media and made 18 email addresses to send messages with. She would use all of these fake accounts to send death threats, harassment, and other mean messages to various people she blamed for her defeat. "All hell is gonna rain fire down on you like you never seen before," one message said. "I'm coming." Tammy wasn't content just to harass people with fake accounts, though. She decided to take things to the next level. She compelled her 12-year-old daughter to inform the police that a man had tried to kidnap her in July of 2018. When police asked about the man, Tammy claimed it was her former business partner and the man who had co-owned a gym with her. She claimed the man had fled the scene and run into the woods. When police headed out into the woods, they found a computer with information on Tammy's house. The police would later find something else, and it would destroy Tammy's story. When the police decided to search Tammy's phone, they found incriminating messages that proved she had planned to smear her former business partner's name. Not long after that, police also found CCTV footage of Tammy buying the exact same laptop that was found in the woods near her house. Police would charge Tammy with witness tampering, evidence tampering, stalking, and filing a false police report. Tammy was sentenced to 57 months of jail time in September of 2019 and remains behind bars as of December 2022. Natalia Kuznetsova. Natalia Kuznetsova might be the most muscular female bodybuilder in all of Russia, and it clearly shows. With nearly 500,000 followers on social media, her massive strength has earned her a devoted fan base. Natalia claims to weigh 220 pounds, but practically all of it is pure muscle. She earned her pro card in 2018 and broke world records for highest deadlift and bench press by a female bodybuilder. Natalia isn't afraid of going as far as possible to be strong, and some people even worry that this female bodybuilder is being too extreme in her workouts. She follows a diet that involves 5 to 6 meals a day, as well as rigorous daily exercise. Natalia also uses steroids and freely admits to it during interviews. On top of that, she also takes estrogen blockers to grow even larger muscles. While some might be worried about the side effects of using substances like that, Natalia is only worried about being the best female bodybuilder in the world. China. Joan Laurer, popularly known as China, was one of the most legendary female bodybuilders. During her rise to fame in the 1990s, she was hailed as the 9th wonder of the world and was the only woman to ever hold the WWF Intercontinental Championship title 3 times. China bested nearly every major female bodybuilder during her heyday and took down several male bodybuilders as well. Nicole defeated Chris Jericho, Jeff Jarrett, and even Kurt Angle, who had all been world champions at one point. By the time she left the WWF, she was considered the most dominant female competitor of all time. China had some eccentric and downright shocking things in her personal life, though, and they would change everything the world thought they knew about this bodybuilding champ. China had a sultry side, which included starring in Playboy magazine numerous times. She went on to several talk shows in the 2000s and was considered to be a carnal symbol by the media and general public. China was also known for an extremely rocky relationship with Sean Waltman. All of this cemented China's bad reputation in the public. China also had difficulties with other wrestlers in the WWE, which came out recently in December of 2022. China had been using steroids secretly, and while they enhanced her strength, they also made her mood much more uncontrollable. As a result of this, China lashed out at fellow female bodybuilder Stephanie McMahon. China told the woman that she would eliminate her, promising to end her life. While this promise never came to any fruition, it was only further proof that China was an unstable and unpredictable bodybuilder. In the end, China's career would be tragically brought to an end by substance abuse. In April of 2016, she was found deceased in her California home. China's manager had become concerned when she didn't post anything online for several days, which was very unlike her. He decided to send someone to check up on her, but it was already too late. China's funeral was massive, including wrestlers and famous celebrities who had all known the star during her life. Afterwards, an autopsy determined the likely cause of her demise. She had been using several prescription narcotics together with alcohol, and they all combined to cause an overdose. Although China was one of the strongest bodybuilders at one point, her struggles with substance abuse caught up to her in the end. Ernestine Shepherd. There's no limit that bodybuilders won't break when it comes to their body, and that includes age. That's why Ernestine Shepherd is still a professional bodybuilder at 86 years old. During her decades in the fitness world, she became one of the strongest and most muscular women ever, and her secret was living by a single rule. Ernestine did everything with dedication, determination, and discipline. How else could she still be lifting weights and rocking a six-pack while in her 80s? Although Ernestine is a staple in the bodybuilding community today, her journey to record-breaking success had an unusual start. It all began when Ernestine had a poolside conversation with her sister Velvet. The two planned on shopping for bathing suits, but they both felt unsure about how they would look in the clothes. As a result, they made a pledge to diet and exercise more. This simple pledge would lead to a 30-year career with shocking records and awards, and it isn't even over yet. For the first few years after their pledge, Velvet got fit much faster. However, this only made Ernestine more committed to working even harder. Due to this discipline and drive, she began to see large improvements. Ernestine grew stronger and her muscles got bigger, and it seemed like she'd achieved her goals of a healthier and fitter body. She even became an amateur bodybuilder with her sister, and the two entered into some local shows. A sudden tragedy would change everything, though, and turn Ernestine's life on its head. Everything changed for Ernestine when her sister Velvet became sick without warning. Velvet experienced a serious headache, and she even lost vision in one eye. Ernestine called an ambulance, and Velvet was rushed to the hospital. During the entire trip, the two sisters stayed by each other's side. While she would make it to the hospital, it was clear that she wouldn't make it. Before Velvet passed away, she reached for her sister's hand. Velvet made Ernestine pinky promise to continue the pledge they had made and to fulfill their bodybuilding dreams. Shortly after that, Velvet tragically passed away. Following the tragic passing of her sister, Ernestine resolved to commit herself even more to becoming as fit as possible. Even after she turned 70 years old, Ernestine didn't give up on her dream. Instead, Ernestine hired a personal trainer and started a rough daily training routine to grow even stronger. It was far from easy, but her hard work paid off massively. Ernestine competed against women far younger than her again and again, and every single time, she won. Ernestine's record of victories helped her to rapidly shoot up to the top of the ranks, and she became known as one of the most formidable female bodybuilders. Ernestine won 2 bodybuilding contests during her peak, as well as a whopping 9 marathons. During 2010, she also got into the Guinness Book of World Records for being the oldest competitive bodybuilder in the world. 6 years later, Ernestine would also write her very own book describing the secret to her success. You won't believe the insane things she does to have the body of a 20-year-old in her 80s. According to Ernestine, she follows an extremely strict diet that only contains 1,700 calories each day. The diet mainly consists of eggs, plain chicken, vegetables, and liquid eggs. She also claims to start each day by waking up at 3 a.m. to meditate. After going through her morning routine, Ernestine then starts a 3-hour-long run every single day. These runs can be as many as 10 or more miles in a single day, which adds up to 70 or 80 miles each week. All of that might seem intense, but that's only the start of Ernestine's day. After that, she does heavy weightlifting for an hour and a half each day to build muscles. Although Ernestine's routine is far beyond what even most 20-year-olds could manage, she remains active and fit, even in her 80s. Ernestine claims that she doesn't even struggle with following the diet regimen, saying that the temptation for eating junk food or sweets isn't all that strong. When asked why she was so motivated to spend hours every day exercising, Ernestine simply mentioned that final promise to her sister. "Bodybuilding was something we dreamed about," she said. "I try to keep that dream alive. Now, it's my dream." Click here to see 10 male bodybuilders who took it too far. See you there.